Okay. I wish you could be here with me in person. That would be so much fun.
Next time I'm going to fly in for it.
You know, I would love to have all of these people in one place because I think it would be one killer event.
Yeah. We should all just meet at a resort, like a spa or something, and do it there. That'd be fun.
I think that would be amazing. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Because, and guys, I know that you're hanging out with us, but one of the things that has come up, Cheryl, and you're going to, I said this just a second ago, but when I was creating Reverence and Revenue, it came up from a conversation I had with Danielle Laporte last summer when I was interviewing her, and I was like, Reverence and Revenue, that's so important, it's so important. And it finally came to pass this month, and, you know, essentially 9 months later, 10 months later, anyway, what is really funny is, I know, and you certainly know this, that you have to have a back end. Like, when you're doing a free event, you have to have a back end.
Right.
And I was just like, God, I really don't feel compelled to offer a back end thing. Like, I don't have it. It's not making itself apparent. I don't know what it is. And I was sort of racking my brains, and I was like, well, I'm the kind of person, I'm the kind of business owner, the kind of marketer, like, I'm not going to just put something together because I need a back end. So I said, when I started today, I was like, I don't have a back end, and Cheryl's going to slap me upside the head and go, what's the problem? But that being said, what has happened today, and I think you'll find this really interesting, is that I'm going to collaborate on smaller workshops with many of the speakers we've had today so that we can combine our intellectual property and have an even bigger offer. Like, we're going to basically JV the shit out of it. So, and people will be able to opt in for one segment, or they'll be able to opt in for 3, or they'll be able to opt in for all 18.
Love that. That's awesome.
So that's what I'm going to do, and I want to do it digitally first, and then hells yeah, let's do it in person. What do you say?
So it's like you can structure it like a giveaway, event, back end, telesummit, like take your choice type of thing?
So here's what I'm thinking, and you guys, I want you to hear, since we're live and recording this, I want you to hear how we're going to go through this, because Cheryl is going to show us and demonstrate to us her expertise, and then we're going to go back in and we're going to benchmark it, okay? So this is perfect. This is like a case study. So right now, Cheryl, I'm creating a shit ton of amazing content with these videos.
Right.
After this week, after tomorrow evening, they will all be private. They will only be available to the people who bought the VIP upgrade. Now, what I can do with those videos is I can create clips. And what I think I'd like to do is I'd like to create a clip or 2 from each person's discussion that was the most impactful, amazing thing that they said, and post those for free, drip them on YouTube, and post them for free with an email marketing campaign that's also going out to everybody else with all the other affiliates. So let me back up a second. What it's going to be promoting is I'm going to get with each speaker, and we're going to hash out what our workshop will be, the format. I want them all to be video, but the format, and then also the, like, do we need 90 minutes? Do we need 2 sets of 90 minutes? What's our, what are our handouts? What are our PDFs that go with this? What are the exercises or audios that they need to do to prep beforehand? What do they need to bring? What is the follow-up? So each person's workshop is going to be really unique to that person and to me, and what I bring also to the subject matter. So we're going to collaborate, do a mini workshop. Nothing like, no crazy program. Not each one is not a month long. It's a in-depth, truly a workshop. Like I want to be like maybe looking at 3 hours of content per person, right?
Okay.
Create that on the sales page. People can do basically one of 2 things. They can go a la carte, and they can pick each.
Yep.
Or they can go, I want whole shebang.
Yes.
And then again, we create the marketing plan around it, and that centers on the drip of YouTube videos that's going to promote back to the sales page for the
workshop,
a la carte or drip, or a la carte or whole shebang workshops. How does that sound?
I get it.
All right. What do you think?
I like it. So now, what is like the offer at the end? Are you going to bring everyone together and do like a live event workshop?
Well, so the offer at the end of what?
So I'm thinking, right, so your back end, you bring them in, you give them a one-time offer, that could be some kind of like a little part of this, and then give them, then as you structure your back end, then, or your dripping content, I mean, obviously leading them to, as you said, the sales page where it's a la carte or the whole shebang, but then I think from there, there's a great opportunity to have something else, like a live
event.
Right?
Yeah,
for
sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I mean, in some ways, this isn't really a back end to this virtual retreat because it's too late to create the back end, right?
Yeah.
I'm basically creating a new product, an offer that is based on this. But certainly, we did all the work to build the list for this, and then the new offer is going to involve so many different amazing people that they'll all be affiliates and they'll all be sending it out to their really diverse lists. So I think it could be really fun, and I think it could be a great quote-unquote back end. I think that's a misnomer, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I do.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
Cool. And then we can do a live event.
Super cool.
Somewhere awesome, like the Santa Barbara Four Seasons.
Okay.
Although everything happens in freaking California, and we always have to go over there. So I think we should do something on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to come over here.
I know, but this list is really East Coast centric.
Okay, gotcha.
So I do know that.
Right, but East Coast West, they put in internet marketing, but they say it's really hard to get West to go East.
It's true. It's very true. And golly, that Santa Barbara Four Seasons is amazing.
Napa's good too.
Napa is good. I really want to go there. And actually, you know what? JetBlue is making it very cheap to fly to the West Coast right now.
Done deal.
Which is really nice. So, perfect. Thanks for hashing that out with me and letting me talk.
I love that. I think there's a huge need for bringing people together.
Mm-hmm.
Women love community, and there's just not a lot of business models out there that do that. It's all the guru, one-stop shopping, so it's nice to see people thinking more of a collective consciousness type of structure. I love it.
I do too. Thank you. So I'm going to take a moment to introduce you a little bit. And I already teed you up in the last session, but you guys, Cheryl Heppard is just a lot of fun, number one. And I got to meet her in a really fun context. She came and did a photo shoot of headshots and happened to use my apartment and wardrobe. The photographer was using my apartment and my wardrobe. And so Cheryl and I became fast friends because, she was there. She brought her lovely daughter, who is an amazing teenager and certainly takes after her mom in many ways. And we just had a lot of fun. And then Cheryl comes to New York quite a lot, so I've seen her since then, and we have some mutual friends. But what's really amazing is that, and I said this earlier, but I'm going to just repeat it. Cheryl's gift, I think, is she's playing in a space that is dominated by men. It's all about traffic. It's about how to generate traffic, and certainly all of us want that for our businesses. The second thing is that she's playing in that space that's dominated by men and then a few women. And she's doing it, she certainly is learning from the people who have gone before, the big names in the business. But she's also simultaneously saying, hey guys, there's another way to do this. And so I love that she can sit at that table, and I also love that she can put her own spin on it and isn't afraid to say, let's not do it that way, let's do it this way. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where she goes with it, frankly. I'm looking forward to seeing how she starts to break the rules and does it in a way that is conscious and values her customers. Because that is something that I've seen in that whole internet marketing world. It's the reason the internet marketing world has a sleazy reputation is because there are people who do sleazy stuff. And Cheryl's saying, yes, we can learn from that, and we can learn about their conversion rates, and we can learn about how they drive massive traffic, and we can do something differently. So that's Cheryl Heppard. Her main website, do you want me to, is ListSpike, yes? ListSpike.com?
Yeah, that one, or under my name.
Or CherylHeppard.com.
depending on the day.
Yeah, so that is Cheryl. And Cheryl, thank you for being on the call today. And gosh, here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about traffic. You good with that?
Sure, we can talk about traffic, absolutely.
Okay.
Gotta have traffic. No point in having a website without it.
Yeah, so tell me, what are the biggest mistakes you see people making regarding traffic and conversion, lead gen, and business building? What are the biggest mistakes?
Okay, well, there's quite a few. I think probably the first one that comes to mind is that a lot of people feel like, okay, I'm going to put this build it and they will come. I'm going to put a website up and people are just going to automatically find it. And that's not the case. And there's two issues with that. So we need to make sure when we're putting our site together, we need to make sure whoever's putting it together knows about internet. And I tell people this all the time. Make sure that whoever's putting your site together has an internet business that's successful. Because if they don't, how in the heck are they going to help you create one with your website? The website is such a portal for that. So
I want to pause you right there for a second.
Okay.
You guys, let me repeat what she says. Make sure whoever puts your website together has a successful website and web-based business. That is so important. There are so many people out there who will build you a lovely website that functions well with WordPress, and they don't know jack shit about how to drive traffic, leads, and conversion. Okay, thank you.
Exactly.
Continue.
So there's basically 3 different schools of people that are putting websites together. And that's how I got started. My first coaching business, I put on the map by going down the rabbit's hole of once I figured out, hey, once people found my website and liked what they saw enough to then actually contact me, they were a done deal. It didn't take any selling or anything. They saw what they were looking for, they liked what they saw, they contacted me, they were good to go. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me get more of that, because that's a heck of a lot easier than out there busting my butt, putting workshops together and all the other things that I was doing that weren't working.
Sure.
So basically there's 3 different schools of people that are putting websites together. So the first is web developers, coders, programmers, and they will, they can create a site for you pretty much, but they're going to look to you for the most part. What do you want? What do you want it to do? Mm-hmm. Sure, I can build code, but a lot of them haven't studied sales and marketing.
Right.
They're coders. So then you have the second school of people that are putting sites together, and those are the creative types. They're artists, they're graphic designers, and they're going to probably talk to you a lot about branding and all those kinds of things, and they're going to make your site look really awesome. But again, unless they really understand sales and marketing and how to build a site that's going to generate and attract traffic, and not just any traffic. Traffic needs to be people that are looking for what you have to offer, but that's another story. So you have the graphic designers. You're going to end up with a site that probably is not going to get you the return on investment that you were hoping for. So you really want to have someone who's a strategist and understands internet marketing and has a successful online business and is going to tell you exactly what you need and why. So when we help clients put their sites together, we're like, all right, listen, this is where your opt-in form needs to be. This is how your copywriting needs to be written, because people will decide in 2.7 seconds when they land on your site if they're in the right place or they're not. And if you start losing traffic, then Google, penalizes us and says, oh, our customers don't find your site. So that just starts this whole domino effect. So that's the beginning of the issues that we see with people with websites. They feel like, oh, I can just put it up, it's good enough, people are going to find it, and that's not the case if it's not built the right way and then isn't converting the traffic that you are getting. So that's really the second part of it that's really important.
Cool. This is actually perfect timing, Cheryl. I don't think you knew this, but our previous speaker, Victoria, we talked a lot about CX, and she spoke a lot about brand. She's a graphic designer. She actually also understands internet marketing, so she's a triple threat. But it's perfect because someone like Victoria is not going to sit there and help you put together your website. That's not what she's about. She's going to help you with the strategy behind your customer experience and your different touch points, your website being one of them. But then you need to have an expert in your back pocket who knows exactly what Cheryl just described. And so a big touch point for your CX is the website. And so you can't have the problems that you're talking about, and you can't go with those first two options either for your web build. Okay, what are the other mistakes that people make? So website, yes. What else? How else are people leaving money on the table?
Another way that they're leaving money on the table is by not having the back-end system set up, which we started out talking about. When people come to our site and they like what they see, you want to make sure that you're getting people to sign up, because that's where most of our revenue is going to come from, is from the email marketing campaign, right? So you want to make sure that you're giving something away that's really juicy and compelling, but then once it's, man, 1 second, let me close my door here. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Barking Labrador. So I think that's like the other big thing, is that people kind of wait. The site is up, and even if you are getting traffic, they're kind of sitting back and just waiting for the phone to ring. So the email marketing campaign is being neglected, and the offers aren't set up so that you have a nurturing sequence, like we talked about in the beginning too. You need to make sure you have a content marketing plan in place. Mm-hmm. What are you sending out? What offers are you making? Mm-hmm. Getting that funnel laid out.
Definitely. And you guys, I know you've seen the CX narrative arc that I created for you guys. I also created a content marketing narrative arc. And Cheryl, this is a concept, and maybe you and I can have a discussion offline about it, but basically taking the narrative arc that you would put to a short story or a play or a novel in order to have the beginning, middle, end, and have it make sense and have there be flow to it. I've basically applied that to both customer experience and content marketing. So when you're doing that, you're walking your customer from the time they hit your website and opt into your email list. You're walking them through this narrative, this lovely thing that's well thought out, that has peaks and valleys and emotional engagement and a storyline to it. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, so that's strategic. And it's not strategic from a shitty, sleazy place. It's strategic from, I want to invite them to experience this in its fullness. I want them to feel the wave that happens when they engage with my narrative, with my content marketing plan. And it's something that doesn't have to be dry. It's so unique and individual, and it's a really gorgeous part of what we do as a business. So going back to Cheryl on the content marketing, Cheryl, tell us, some people are going to go, what the heck is content marketing? How can I create a sequence that works? What does that mean?
Well, I think, Lauren, you demonstrate that so well, because you and I are both extremely creative people. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the reasons why we connect. And I think a lot of people leave that off the table. They're not really expressing their, right? Business at the end of the day is all about relationship building.
Yeah.
And internet marketing has a sleazy reputation because of the people that are out there that really set up the internet marketing business in a way that's all about volume. Fleece them early, get the money out of them quickly, and be very salesy and kind of build their business expecting people to come and go very quickly. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think there's a huge, the opportunity is in setting up your business and understanding that it's, at the end of the day, it's about relationship building. People do business, right, with people they know, like, and trust. So in creating a content marketing plan, you want to make sure that you're expressing all your personality, your interests, your gifts, your talents, and everything is connected together. So whether we're talking about blog posts or helpful, value-driven emails that we're sending out to our subscribers, or simple infographics and checklists, all those kinds of things that go into a content marketing plan, it's pretty easy to just sit down and go, okay, what is it that my ideal client is looking for, and how can I help them? And just coming from that place of service, and then making sure that everything you generate is something that is a reflection of who you are, and you do that certainly very well. I think I do a pretty good job at that. through my blog, through my writing, through all the fun stuff, and I'm like, how do I create this because it's fun and it's truthful, and I want to share that.
You know, I love, it's so funny, like you guys, I don't prep my interviewees ever.
I have clue what you're gonna say.
I don't ever prep them. Like, I gave Victoria like one sentence, and there was another woman who was like, can you give me the questions beforehand? And I told my assistant, I was like, tell her we don't need to book her if she needs the questions. I'm not kidding. I don't prep. I like to shoot from the hip. That's when the good stuff comes out, and I am not prompting these people to keep talking about the same stuff. I promise. What's happening is you're hearing this zeitgeist of authenticity, of personal voice, of relationship building, of building for the long term, that I really want you to pay attention to, because it is really, really juicy, okay? And Cheryl speaks to it very clearly. And I'll say something, when she was talking about like personality-driven stuff, I thought about earlier this week, I sent out an email that says, in the subject line, I never fake it.
I saw that. I loved it.
Do you know how many unsubscribes I had because of that email?
Seriously? I wanted to like sign up again.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
I had so many unsubscribes, and if people know me, like I love Jesus. I say fuck all the time, and I'm really spiritual, and like I make jokes that have innuendo. And so when I said I never fake it, I was talking about faking it till you make it with regards to business. Like, do you fake it till you make it, or do you like just do stuff that you know you can do, like that kind of thing? I'm going to address that in a future broadcast. But what Cheryl's talking about is that was something that was true to me, that resulted in a decrease, a marked decrease in my list subscribers, because they clearly did not like that subject line. And what do? I'm doing the happy dance. Because now my list, even though it's smaller, it's people who are with me. It's people who vibe with me. The people who subscribe for this event, I don't know hardly any of them. I didn't know hardly any names that came through. And again, I did the happy dance because they're interacting with me. They don't know me in person. I'm thinking, hallelujah, I'm finally getting somewhere with this internet marketing thing. There are people who are coming who've never met me. Yay! And I love word of mouth, but like when we are our true self is when we get to connect with people through this amazing medium that is the internet. So, okay, that's a long little digression there. But so Cheryl, thank you for pointing that out. I think that we cannot overstate what you just said about being true to yourself and that being super important. So you talked to us a little bit about the sequence and more about the meat of it. I'm curious, and this is more about your business. I want to get into that a little bit. You're running a big business at this point. Tell us, what's your business model? Where is money coming from? Are you cool to answer that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So break it down for us. Where's it coming from? Low price info products, mid price programs, high price VIP days, services done for you. I know you've got a range. Hit me.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. So I'm completely changing my model right now and going in a different direction. We're changing a lot of things up.
Okay.
Most of the revenue comes in from VIP days. I'm all about working with clients and just mapping the whole plan out for them and just over delivering, which is against one of those marketing models of under deliver, and then that encourages people to have to buy the next thing, whereas I'm more like, let me over-deliver and then get people to stay with me so that I don't have to work as hard resetting the funnel. So I'm more about lifetime clients and creating raving fans. So most of it is VIP days and coaching. We were doing quite a lot of done-for-you marketing services, like big projects, setting up their back ends and helping with the content marketing. I'm doing a big shift, and actually I'm gonna start teaching people how to do it, using all the systems, because we've been doing it about 4 years now. Mm-hmm. And I would rather teach people how to fish. Listen, here's everything you need to know about what your website absolutely has to have so that it's set up the right way, it's attracting traffic, it's converting converting your ideal clients into subscribers. Here's how you set up the back-end systems, and here's how you set up a remote team so that you have people like I do that have been with me for years that work for, I'm not paying retail pricing, and I have a loyal team of people that work their heart out for me. So that's what we're looking to start teaching going forward. I'm probably going to do my first 3-day workshop in June. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Will you mute? Will you go to your Ustream and mute me? Can you hear me?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, Cheryl.
I don't have Ustream.
You don't have Ustream on? It's just the Skype. Okay. I can hear me talk, but it went away. It was an echo there for a second. So you're going to go away from the done for you services, and you're going to teach the workshops for how
I'd
people.
rather teach people how to do it. I have all the systems in place, and I think that's going to be a better model for me because I can serve more people that way.
You can serve more people, and you guys might not know this about my business, but my corporate business does done for you services too. I go in and do a lot of consulting, but I also will do execution if a client needs it and if it makes sense. And so to that end, I plan client trade shows, and I make sure that my eye goes on their marketing collateral. And I certainly get paid very well to do that, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, done for you services, making that a part of your business model is a recipe for being tied to your, BlackBerry, anything. It's a recipe for being tied to and overseeing a lot of details. So if that's not you, then, Cheryl's model of shifting from done for you services to teaching people how to do it themselves and build a team to do it for them is really interesting, and I think you should take note. Cheryl, I am curious. A lot of people in our business talk about high-end clients, VIP days, and I know that your VIP day runs what, $5,000? It's not cheap.
Yeah, 5 to 8.
5 to 8, and just so you know, guys, I know people who are charging $30K for a VIP day, which I think is fucking ridiculous.
I paid up to 20, and I did 5 of them last year.
Yeah, I mean, they can be really expensive. So Cheryl, tell us, I have a couple questions, but first tell us what you do in a VIP day. I'm just curious about content of that.
It depends on where the business owner is, but typically most of the clients that come to me they've been in business for a few years and have just been knocking themselves out and not getting anywhere. So with that type of a client, we start out with a sales training, I have them run me through their current sales process and get a good handle on what their lead gen process looks like right now. And then I, kind of retrain them and give them some different systems to adopt and talk about how to go from prospects to paying clients and what a successful system looks like for that. And then usually we will move on to talking about their marketing and their lead generation that isn't in place, what we need to put in place. Do they need squeeze pages? Do they need opt-in pages? What kind of database do they have? Are they collecting phone numbers, addresses? Because I'm a big advocate of doing snail mail campaigns and making phone calls and reaching out to people on our list and connecting, right? It's all about building the relationships. And you can't do that if you're this faceless entity behind your computer. So we talk about a lot of things along those lines, and then I have a very creative brain. So usually I'll tap in a little bit and we'll talk about how they can make their marketing more in line with their gifts and their talents and their zone of genius and obviously where they want to go and what their goals are and how to achieve that in the next 6 months. So
cool.
That's about it.
So, that is not a low-priced product or service. Tell me, how does selling that differ from selling a low-priced service, for instance?
What do you mean by low-priced service?
So let's say someone is working from like an hourly model, and they're like, I want to sell VIP days. How do I get someone to sign on the dotted line for something that's $3,000 or more for a day?
How do you do that? Well, it happens through phone calls.
Okay.
It's not something you're going to put on your website and convert for the most part.
I
So
think that's something people needed to hear.
you
Thank you.
Yeah, you need to have the credibility there, or they're not going to get on the phone with you.
Okay.
And you need to make sure you know how to have a conversation that helps get your client really clear about what they want and why they want it and what's going to happen if they don't get it. And then at that point, you can ask them if they'd like your feedback on what you believe is going to get them from where they are right now to where they want to be. And then you make your offer.
Great. I also really like what Cheryl said about you ask the client if you can make a recommendation, if you can give them feedback. I would say that my most successful hire in clients come because we've had a conversation that's been a lengthy conversation. I'll say it ends up being like a half hour to an hour long conversation. And as we get towards the end, I say, may I make a recommendation for you? And they say, sure. And I say, I really think that you would be a fit for this. Here's what it looks like. Here's what I would like to see happen for you because of it. And, would you be interested in investing in that? And certainly everybody has a different way of how they talk about it, but Cheryl just pointed out a couple things. Number one, phone. Number two, be really clear about what they're going to get out of it and what they wouldn't get out of it, what the pain point is if they don't do it. And then three, ask to give your own recommendation, your own feedback on what they could do next. Cheryl, that's really clear, and that people aren't going to convert on something like that on a website. I also suspect, Cheryl, do you have active price discrimination? Do you give different people different pricing?
Not typically.
Okay.
No.
Cool. So you have a set price and you pretty much stick to it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I might charge more if it's corporate.
Okay.
But I'm, for my market, which is mostly coaches, small business owners, no, I don't just pull a number out of the hat. Because you have a live events and you have workshops and you don't want to want to deliver a different service to someone or a different price so they can go, oh, didn't you love when Cheryl took you out to lunch to that restaurant? And the other client goes, well, she didn't send the car for me. She didn't,
Yeah.
She didn't charge me that price.
Yeah. So your CX is consistent.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. There was another question I had around. You've held a lot of live events, and you're going to do another one. It sounds like.
Yes, we have a couple coming up. Right.
Tell us how you are filling your live events.
I had a mastermind program that we filled. We did a 2-day retreat in March in Fort Lauderdale. I filled that by phone.
Okay.
We're having a live event next week here in the Michigan, Detroit area. And a lot of those are clients that are coming, and also we are allowing them to bring accountability partners so that they're supported before the event, at the event, and going forward after the event. So that was a really good strategy for filling that event. Certainly we've made phone calls as well, email marketing campaign, social media campaign, that type of thing. And then the 3-day workshop that we'll have on the team building and marketing implementation camp will be a variety of all those strategies as well.
Where will that be?
That's going to be in Dearborn as well,
Okay.
near the airport here in Michigan.
Cool. I imagine that Michigan is really excited to have someone of your caliber right there. I have another question for you around, I love how you said accountability partner. There are a lot of people who say bring a guest for $97 or $197 or whatever to an event.
Yeah,
I love the word accountability partner, and that's fabulous. It just shifts everything about who that person is. It's not just like, oh, bring a guest for free.
Exactly, right. It's not going to be the same. If I start talking about nurturing sequences and, his eyes are going to glaze over. But if I bring you, someone that's like-minded in a service-based business and, is in the same game, that's going to be a much better
fit. I freaking love that. That is brilliant. Brilliant. Because that's a common practice, and it's a great way to put butts in seats. But Cheryl's doing two things. She's, number one, she's getting butts in seats who are more likely to be other customers. And number two, she's facilitating success.
Yeah.
with that. Because when you get an accountability buddy there at the event with you, you're accountable. It's so amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that name. Love it. What are you really excited about right now and going forward in the next year? With your business, with the industry, anything?
Yeah, I'm really excited about, I just feel like I've gotten really clear over the last year. I've blown my business up, and we've tripled revenue and sales, and I think I just had this big aha moment in teaching other business owners how to, instead of going, wide and, long and wide, going narrow and deep, shifting this model, and I've just gotten really clear on, it's not the revenue, it's not the list building, it's not the sales numbers or the fact that I've expanded the team. At the end of the day, my business is successful because I have clients who are happy and getting good results, and they're advocates for my business, and they're helping me grow my business. So, I kind of went, whoa, that's what it's all about, and that's what I need to focus more on, and that's what I'm going to teach my clients, and, making sure that I'm looking at my own mentors and making sure that I'm the mentor that I would like to have. Someone who's supportive and gets it and isn't teaching these fly-by-night marketing strategies that don't work or don't last, or so that's been really a cool shift for me, and I'm just really excited to start teaching people functional marketing, team building, how to build your business and escape doing it yourself or feeling like you can't afford it, you're not there yet. And teaching some really practical business building ways to grow your business without breaking the bank.
I love it. I think that's amazing. I really do. I'm excited about that. And I think you and I need to chat offline too. I have been asked to create a training program for managers of remote teams in Fortune 500 companies.
Awesome.
And I think we should have a chat about it.
Okay, let's do it.
Because it's going to be for manager and director level people. And
awesome.
And we're going to be beta testing it with a massive company here in New York. So yeah.
Very cool.
I'm excited.
Very cool.
Okay, 2 questions. One is, there are a lot of people out there in this whole world whose businesses blow up. I mean, in a good way. And they're not telling us how much they're actually able to keep. They're just telling us gross. They're not telling us net.
Yeah.
And so I think it's awesome that you've tripled revenue. I think that your growth trajectory is just blistering, and it's amazing, and it's impressive, and it's a testament to how hard you work, but how smart you work, and just who you are. I think that there are a lot of people out there who blow up, and they're kind of smarmy. And then there are a lot of people who blow up because of other reasons. So I really respect what you've done, and level with us. You don't have to tell us net number, but I would love to know how much are you reinvesting back into the business, and how much do you get to keep and shop with?
That's a big question.
And go on vacation with.
I've reinvested most of it.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah. Absolutely.
At what point?
But that's shifted too. This year, my goal is to keep 50% of what I make.
No.
Last year, I probably kept 20%.
Okay. So for those of you who do not read the Financial Times and stuff like that, there are really big businesses who have margins of 10% and less.
Yeah.
And they're doing
10% rule of thumb.
Yeah,
right?
10% is typically rule of thumb, okay? And if you've got more margins, so what that means is, if I'm selling $100 worth of product, if I keep $10 or service, if I keep $10 as net after I've paid taxes, employees, marketing costs, blah 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 blah, after I've paid all that stuff, then $10 is left over. That's considered successful in business. In the coaching services world, in the services world in general, a lot of people feel like they're not successful unless they have margins that are closer to 80 or 90%, which would mean that they're keeping 90% and only, using 10%. It is. It's reverse. And I want to challenge that thinking, because what Cheryl is talking about is that 20% is a healthy margin. 50% is a really healthy margin. And she's taking, this is a big business approach, and it's also a long-term approach that, hey, I'm going to reinvest 80% of what I'm doing into my business because I know that in several years or 10 years, I'm going to have a bigger margin. If we had asked Carol this morning from Malia Mills, here's a fashion company that's famous, that gets written up in Vogue all the time. Their margins are probably around 10%.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, that's just a fact. Like, she, I'm sure, has a nice salary at this point, but I would suspect that she did it for many, many years. And you heard her talk. Like, there's no way. For the first 7 years, Malia was, like, chilling by herself, you know? So I just want you to have perspective on what success looks like, because it doesn't necessarily mean 90% margins. And it's okay to spend money up front to know that you're growing something again for the long term. So Cheryl, thank you for being that transparent about your margins and how much you're spending back in your business. I think that's super enlightening. Who are you watching? Who's on your radar?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have a lot of time to watch people. Who am I watching? In terms of
anything, like what brands are on your radar, and it could be in any industry really. Like who's killing it? Who's doing an amazing job with anything?
I don't know. Let me think. I mean, and the coaching, you know, I just focus so much on marketing and, you know, coaching and speaking with my friends, and, you know, I'm not really out there, like, looking around too much.
That's good. Are you doing another mastermind this year?
I am going to do another mastermind.
Nice. Is it with David, or is it with someone new?
No, actually, I am going to be working with Alex Mendosian.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. A new mentor of mine who is extremely heart-centered and loves what he's all about.
Yeah.
You know, I love what Kevin Nations is doing actually with his mastermind model and his whole big money from small events. You know, Kevin's an introvert and just, you know, I just love that. Instead of like blowing it up and having these huge events and bring a friend, just kind of working with your tribe and doing what you love. And so, you know, there's two people that I'm really impressed with in our industry.
Cool. I love that you're working with Alex. I think that I mean, I don't know what he's done. He was the guy who basically was like, teleseminars are the way to go. Here's how you create teleseminars that sell. And it's been some years since that was his bread and butter, I'm sure. And he also is on a mission to, and I remember hearing, he was talking about how his money just continued to increase and continue to increase. And he was making in a day what like he used to make in a year, right? He was making like 60 grand in a day, people. And Alex is not one of those like big, let me beat my chest and show you how big I am kind of guys. That's not how he comes across whatsoever. But it was interesting, and he was just kind of embarrassed to like tell his mom that he was making 60,000 in one day.
Yeah, it's just super real, super honest.
Yeah, and his mission is to empower 1,000 millionaires? Is that the goal?
I don't know. I haven't heard that from him.
That was a while back when he was talking about that, but he is on a mission to help other people build their businesses to a serious level.
Yeah, absolutely. He's all about that.
Cool. Very cool.
Just heart-centered people. You know, that's really who I'm looking to align myself with going forward. And you know, you and I have had that conversation before. So, you know, people that are like me. Like I said, I want to align myself with mentors who, you know, are a stand for everything that I'm a stand for, and kind of doing it your own way and out of a place of integrity and a place of service. And
you can use the conventional wisdom to do that. There's nothing wrong in and of itself with email marketing or with list building or with affiliate marketing. There's nothing wrong with it inherently. It's all about the intention. And Cheryl, you've been a breath of fresh air today and given us really concrete things to think about with our own list building and our own sales and our own conversion. And I am really excited to chat with you more again offline about what we can do next.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. Very fun. Anytime.
Thank you. And if people want to find out more about you or an offer, I'm going to be putting together an offer list that they can go to. Do you want to just pop that to me via email, or do you want to tell them about it right now too?
Yeah, no, I'll send it to you via email. I'm
Okay.
sure an opt-in page, you know, obviously there's always offers on my websites too, so CherylHeppard.com or ListSpike, but I'm sure I have some really juicy secret stuff that I can send you.
We like juicy secret stuff. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, girl. Well, let me know when you're in New York next, and we will. Let's talk off the line about some other fun stuff. Okay.
Lots of stuff. Okay,
Lots
cool.
of stuff.
Thanks so
Okay.
much.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, talk to you soon.
Bye. I'm just gonna take a moment to stop the recording, or that particular recording.